Welcome back, everyone. So I am actually redoing this video. This video was among probably some of the first ones I did. I am also researching microphones because the one I have been using decided to not work again. And I know this one, depending on placement, is good or bad. So I'm getting really tired of the audio issues, and I'm sure you are too. So it's in the works. For now, I'm just kind of working with what I have. Regardless, we're redoing a video on grounding and centering. And this video you can find in the Meditation, the Fundamentals playlist. Why? Because it is a foundational element. If you're a human being and you work with people, you live on this earth and you just interact with people, it's a skill that everyone really should know, be aware of, have some understanding of, because it will make your life easier. Infinitely easier? Depends on the day, depends on the situation. But it will tremendously help you. So, what is it? So, grounding and centering means that you are focused in your own body, you are calm, you are collected, you are very focused into the present moment. You're not wandering around. And if you are like me and you spend a lot of time on computers, you don't get outside a lot for various reasons. A lot of times, especially working with technology, we tend to be up here, a lot in the third eye and in the crown chakra, not so much in the root chakra or the earth chakra, the sacral chakra. The lower chakras tend to get really small and tight. So what ends up happening is you end up ungrounded. You are unfocused. You are scattered. You might be exceptionally emotional. You are quick to anger. You're quick to react. You're forgetful. Some people are going, I'm like that all the time regardless. But it's compounded when you're not grounded. And there are a lot of different ways to get grounded. So that's what we're basically going to go over today, because you have to figure out the best methods for you, and also having multiple options available to you will make things a lot easier depending on the situation. Right out of the gate, gonna be brutally honest, go outside. That is the number one way to get grounded for people. And depending on the energy worker you're dealing with, if you go to an energy worker, if you are one, throwing your client outside after an appointment and being like, go for a walk, take some time, go do, go move around. It's probably what you're going to do. And that is the best way to get grounded, is to go outside. Now, as I say that, I live in New England. It's been negative single digits, negative digits, teens, 20s for however long. Please be safe when you go outside, depending on the weather conditions. So please make sure, if you're in the exceptionally cold weather, you are bundled up, your kids are bundled up if you're taking them with you, your furry companions, your dogs, cats, whoever you're going out with, are properly taken care of. If you have winter breeds, they're good to go. If you have smaller breed, or you have summer breeds, we had a German short hair. She loved the snow, but sometimes some of the shorter haired dogs do need protection of their own. The same goes for the extreme heat and humidity. If it's, 80, 90, over 100 plus degrees with 70 to 100% humidity, please take steps to make sure that you are safe again when you go outside. Take water with you, shorten your jaunts wherever you're going, go out earlier in the day, later in the evening, whatever it is, just be safe when you're doing this. Also, too, now depending on what your work schedule is like, where you're working, it might be something as simple as just stepping outside for 5-10 minutes on the front lawn, or on your front stoop, or in the backyard, taking a walk around the house, a couple laps, or whatever that is. So it might be something simple. It may not have to be going for a half-hour walk, or a 1 to 2, 3 mile walk. It doesn't have to be that complex. It can just be simply getting outside. Playing will also help you to get grounded. Playing outside, walking, going on hikes. Just sometimes just being more playful in general might help you get grounded because it's going to uplift your energy. That happy energy will help kind of focus you. Now, in that same vein, if you are someone that works in an office, if you work from home, um, moving is actually a really good way to get grounded. When I was on the training team for work, I still am, unfortunately, working from home. I do not train as often because I have a shared office space. So it makes it a lot more fiddly for me to train people. Um, but one of the things we would always talk about in the office is getting up and moving because where I work, it's very solitary. You're on the computer, you're kind of in your own little world. And some of the material you're working on can be just problematic. It could be really heavy, depending on whatever it is. So we're like, get up, move around, go get a glass of water, go get a cup of coffee, take a jaunt around the office building. At the time, we actually had a walking group that would meet. I think it was at 10 o'clock, 10:30, something like that. And people would get up and go walking. 15, 20 minutes. It was a great way to get people out, get people exercising, socializing. And unfortunately, I don't think we have that anymore. Now, with after COVID, a lot of us work a hybrid schedule. So, but even training people from home, that was one of the things I would touch on. I'm like, don't be afraid to get up and move around because this is a hard job, especially if you start losing time for various reasons. All of a sudden, you've lost 5, 10, 20 minutes because you blinked and it's 20 minutes later, or you just spaced out. You just, you got mentally and physically exhausted. You flaked out for a little bit. Get up and move, depending on what your job is. And I work on a very deadline driven job, basically. Everything has to be accounted for, time has to be tracked, deadlines have to be met. So I know what I'm saying when I say this is getting up and moving can be very helpful to get you back grounded. There is a caveat I have found on a personal note. If you're bored, if there's something going on at home or at work, I find sometimes too if I haven't slept well, um, getting up and moving is great, but then I don't want to go sit back down. Because it's like, oh, I could go do this. Oh, I can go do this. I should be working on that. I can do that. Oh, let me just do this real quick. I find reasons not to go back to my desk because I don't want to sit down and go back to work. There are other things that are catching my attention that are just slightly more interesting. And it will happen. It happens. So that's the only caveat to that. Sometimes even at work, I'll find that where I got up because I was about to face plant into my keyboard, and we'll find that all of a sudden now I keep getting up every 10 or 15 minutes because I'm restless. Because I don't want, not that I don't want to work, but it's like my body is telling me to get up and move, or my mind is telling me that because I'm mentally at my breaking point. Mentally and emotionally probably just wrung out, and it's like, okay, let's go do something else now. So that is the only caveat to when you are working or in an office space getting up and moving. It's great to get you regrounded, but if there's other stuff going on or you're kind of at you're starting to plateau for the day or whatever, maybe not always the best. Now, also in that same kind of thought process, exercise. Exercise will ground you because it forces you into the present moment. It forces you into your body. You have to be aware of what you're doing, aware of how you're moving, aware of how you feel, regardless of the type of exercise. Maybe well, no, because walking, you still have to be aware of your surroundings, or at least you should be somewhat aware, because that's what it's doing. You don't want to get hurt. You don't want to, injure yourself. You don't want to do something wrong and potentially hurt someone else, depending on what it is. that you're doing. If you're working out at home or you're working out at the gym, you're maybe paying attention to an instructor, but it forces you into the present moment. It forces you to pay attention to your breathing. Are you breathing or are you holding your breath? How are you moving? Ooh, that move hurt. Okay, what did I do wrong? How did I do that? So, exercise in that respect forces you into the present moment. And that's kind of what you want. Now, moving off of a kind of a movement thing, food, eating, specifically protein, will help get you grounded. Now, if you're hungry and you haven't eaten at all, probably eating in general um, will help you to ground. But a lot of times they'll say eat protein. So whether it's nuts, whether it's eggs, meat, dairy, well, dairy's not really. Can dairy be protein? I guess it could. Yeah. My schedule is so screwed up from COVID, and I know it's been however many years later. I have just have not been able to completely correct it. So some days I eat breakfast fairly late, and I'll start work before I have breakfast, and I'll have a really hard time focusing. I'll eat, and then I'll be like, oh, hey, I should have done that probably like an hour or so earlier. So that's the thing. Eating will help you to be grounded. Uh, Also, another perk, dark chocolate is really good at helping people to ground. And that, treat yourself. Keep a stash of dark chocolate on hand. And it can be dark. It could be chocolate covered fruit. It could just be plain old dark chocolate. Dark chocolate with nuts, doesn't matter. Can it be milk chocolate? Yeah. Milk chocolate has a higher sugar content, which is why it doesn't help you ground as well. But when I went to the shamanic retreat in October, I picked up a bag of Halloween candy because it was on sale. It was cheap. It was on sale. So yeah, and it was all milk chocolate. There was no dark chocolate in there. I think I had Baby Ruths, I had Butterfingers, and Crunch Bars. Yeah, there wasn't much chocolate left. Milk chocolate may not work as well. I will be painfully honest. It may not work as well as you would like it to, as the dark chocolate will. But chocolate will help you to ground and center. Breathing exercises, completely different. Yes, breathing exercises can help you to ground. There are grounding meditations that are actually breathing exercises. I have a grounding, sure, what's the word? I have a grounding meditation where you physically are moving the energy, which is another thing you can do. Again, it's combining breathing and movement. But breathing exercises can help you to ground because they're going to help you to kind of bleed off some of that extra energy. It's making you focus on your breath. It's bringing you into your body, basically, is what you want to do. Meditation will not ground you. You have to be grounded before you do a meditation. So don't think that you can go into a meditation ungrounded. You're going to be a hot mess. You're not going to be able to focus on anything. All the thoughts are going to be coming in. The grocery list with the to-do list, the random, almost like the random shower thoughts. Meditation won't help you to ground. You have to do this beforehand. And a lot of these might also help you when your spouse is on your very last nerve. Your kids are pressing every button you have because they're mini versions of you. Your pets have just caused chaos and mayhem. Your coworkers are idiots. It's it a lot of these are means to help you to bleed off some of that extra energy, especially when it comes to moving. Breathing takes you out of the moment and into your own body so that you are aware of how you're breathing. Just be careful you don't hyperventilate. That's not the point. The point is calm, deep, even breaths, hold, release. That's the point of grounding. But it's a valuable skill that you can use in any walk of life, because if you are quick to anger, taking a moment, taking a few deep breaths, trying to calm down, what might save you from saying something that you're going to regret. walking away from a situation and just going out for a walk or going to the home gym to lift weights, do push-ups, pull-ups, squats, dancing, whatever you need to do. If you need to pull yourself out of a situation to do something, will help ground you. It helps to silence the racing thoughts. It And I cannot stress this enough. It doesn't matter if you're an energy worker, if you do any kind of divination work, or you are just a regular person. This is a skill that will help you in every walk of life. It is imperative, though, if you are an energy worker or do any kind of readings, because you need to ground yourself so that you're not skipping important steps for protection for your ritual, which is the next video we're redoing. It also will make sure that you set boundaries for yourself so that you're not taking on everyone else's energy. If you're grounded and you're calm, you can set the intention, my energy is mine, their energy is theirs. I'm not taking on anything, and I can act as an observer. You need to have a clear head in order to do that. You need to have a clear head in order to do any kind of mediumship, any kind of card readings. You need to have a clear head when you're writing up contracts. You're dealing with people. You're on the phone with people. You're answering questions. You're being clear-headed, being calm and centered will help in every walk of life, regardless of what you're doing. So that's why I wanted to go back and redo this video, because it's so important for everyday life. It will be more important as well with the Violet Flame video coming up, but it's just something that I just want to remind people of. It's just so important to be able to take steps to come back to yourself, to be in your own body, and to focus on where you are. And I wish you all the very best. Take care, and I will see you all again very soon. Bye.